December 14th, 25 Daily Bread. Passage 2 Chronicles, chapter 28, verse 1 to verse 15. Key verse 6, title. Ahaz led Judah away from the Lord. Ahaz was 20 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 16 years. Unlike David his father, he did not do what was right in the eyes of the Lord. He followed the ways of the kings of Israel, and also made idols for worshipping the Baals. He burned sacrifices in the valley of Ben Hinnom, and sacrificed his children in the fire. Engaging in the detestable practices of the nations the Lord had driven out before the Israelites. He offered sacrifices and burned incense at the high places, on the hilltops, and under every spreading tree. Therefore the Lord his God delivered him into the hands of the king of Aram. The Arameans defeated him, and took many of his people as prisoners and brought them to Damascus. He was also given into the hands of the king of Israel, who inflicted heavy casualties on him. In one day, Pekah, son of Remaliah, killed 120,000 soldiers in Judah, because Judah had forsaken the Lord, the God of their ancestors. Zichri, an Ephraimite warrior, killed Maaseiah the king's son, Azrikam the officer in charge of the palace, and Elkanah second to the king. The men of Israel took captive from their fellow Israelites, who were from Judah, 200,000 wives, sons, and daughters. They also took a great deal of plunder, which they carried back to Samaria. But a prophet of the Lord named Oded was there, and he went out to meet the army when it returned to Samaria. He said to them, "Because the Lord, the God of your ancestors, was angry with Judah, he gave them into your hand. But you have slaughtered them in a rage that reaches to heaven. And now you intend to make the men and women of Judah and Jerusalem your slaves. But aren't you also guilty of sins against the Lord your God? Now listen to me. Send back your fellow Israelites you have taken as prisoners, for the Lord's fierce anger rests on you." Then some of the leaders in Ephraim, Azariah son of Jehohanan, Berechiah son of Meshillemoth, Jehizkiah son of Shallum, and Amasa son of Hadlai, confronted those who were arriving from the war. "You must not bring those prisoners here," they said, "or we will be guilty before the Lord. Do you intend to add to our sin and guilt? For our guilt is already great, and his fierce anger rests on Israel." So the soldiers gave up the prisoners, and plunder in the presence of the officials, and all the assembly. The men designated by name took the prisoners, and from the plunder they clothed all who were naked. They provided them with clothes and sandals, food and drink, and healing balm. All those who were weak they put on donkeys. So they took them back to their fellow Israelites at Jericho, the city of palms, and returned to Samaria. Daily Bread Message. Ahaz became king when he was 20 years old. Unlike his father Jotham, he did not honor God. Instead, he followed the pattern of pagan idol worship, even giving his children as sacrifices. God did not tolerate his evil deeds, but delivered him into the hands of the king of Aram and the king of Israel. Ahaz's unfaithfulness led his people into defeat and destruction. 20,000, including Ahaz's son and the highest-ranking officer, were killed, and 200,000 were taken as captives to Samaria. Obed the prophet confronted the victorious Israelites, reminding them that their triumph was not due to their merit, but was God's judgment upon Judah for their great wickedness. The hand of God Almighty was behind their success. His words stirred the fear of God in their hearts, for they too were guilty of the same sins. Fearing further judgment, they showed mercy, returning the captives along with everything they had plundered. Obed's intervention prevented a greater tragedy between Judah and Israel, both of whom God called his own people. Prayer. Father, thank you for reminding me that you have all authority over the affairs of this world. Please help me gain wisdom by listening to you and following in your footsteps. One word. Because Judah had forsaken the Lord,